Hey guys, so I just got a couple of things to say before the video starts, but if you don't care about any of that and you just wanna jump straight into the tutorial, just click here in this video at 1 minute and 24 seconds and jump right in. Alright, so I've made a little Unreal Engine animation mini skit for my last video, the one about subtitles, and here's that video now. Whoa, come on dude, stop, oh, stop. Man, what are you doing, man? Oh, what the fuck? Okay, so that little animation looks really simple. It was actually more complicated than you'd think, and it involved a bunch of different things, half of which I didn't even know about. I ended up learning a lot doing this. I thought it would be really cool to make a tutorial, so maybe someone else can actually learn something from it as well. Now, a little disclaimer. I'm not really a game developer. Half the time I have no idea what I'm even doing. I'm just learning here as I go, and a lot of the things that I do, there are probably better ways to do it, and some things that I say probably aren't even completely correct, but the point is, I just wanted to show you guys how I do things and maybe help someone else learn something as well. That'd be really cool. If I say something incredibly incorrect in the middle of the video, feel free to let me know in the comments. And that's it. So let's just get started. Alright, so I have my Unreal Engine project open here, and the first thing I want to do is click on my asset here. If I press Ctrl B, it opens the content browser. I want to create a new animation, right? So I have a folder here with all the animations that I made for this character. I'm just gonna create a new folder, call it Boo. I'm gonna put everything about this animation that I create in this folder right here. First, I'll create a new level sequence. Open it like this, and I have my sequence right here. I want my animation to kind of follow my default animation, which is this. Like if I play, you can see my character in here, and I can, like if I move around, there's like this default pose, right? Sitting on the desk. So I want my new animation to start from this, basically. I open this level sequence. What I want to do is drag this, find this in the outliner here. Just drag this over here, then I can create an animation for this guy, right? And to do that, I'm just first going to add a control rig. Skeletal meshes, usually you don't have to create a control rig yourself. Well, there are many reasons why you would want to create one yourself. But what I mean is, just by adding a new skeletal mesh, the Unreal Engine sequencer allows you to add a procedurally created FK control rig. So just click this, it creates a control rig. And then I'm going to right click and click on convert to layered. And what this does is makes this control rig follow the current animation that is already set here. So I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. This is the length of the animation, right? And I believe I can just simply click here and bake animation sequence from this. I'm going to find my folder here, Boo. So now if I look here, it creates this, I called it a pose, but it's an animation. Usually pose assets, I don't know how to use them. I tried, they never work. So I just basically make an animation with a few frames and I just use the first frame as a reference. Right, so this is my starting pose basically. So if I start from this, I can basically transition from, so this is my blueprint, animation blueprint. By creating this asset here, I can basically transition from this into that other animation without any weird jumps or cuts, right? It just goes smoothly from one to the other. So back here in the sequencer, I'm going to delete this control rig. I'm going to set this animation as my starting Boo pose, the animation that I just made, right? And I don't know why sometimes this happens. I'm not even playing the level, but this is following my tracking right now. And it's kind of annoying and I really don't want that. So what I'm gonna do is go back to my blueprint here and remove this animation class that it's using. Instead of this, I'm going to set as animation custom mode. Just click this, and if I do this, it's not gonna follow my animation blueprint anymore. So I can just work on this basic pose here. Okay, now I want to create my actual animation, right? And for this, I'm going to use a control rig that is a IK control rig that I made before. This is not automatic, like you're going to have to create your own IK control rig. And for that, there are tons of tutorials online. Okay, so here's my control rig. And again, I'm going to set this as layered because I want this to follow the base animation that I put over here, right? So I'm gonna go here in the first frame and I'm gonna go here to my control rig and click this. And this makes keyframes for all of these control points in the first frame, in the starting positions. So now we want to make it look like people are throwing shit at me, you know? So let's just start moving things around, right? So maybe I put an arm in front of my face like this, and I make a keyframe for this. Then I should change the fingers a little bit. So this right here is the pull control for this arm, and what it means is says what the angle should be for this arm here. So you can just pull it up over here a little bit to change this angle. So maybe I move this arm over here, and you can see this looks awful, right? It's because of two things, right? First, I have to move this pole in a more normal place, and this kind of already fixes it. But there's also this thing that I added to my model that can move the rotation of this arm here, if necessary. I don't think it's necessary right now, but sometimes this kind of thing happens, like on an IK rig, and it kind of twists like this. So you can fix it by doing this, you know. But in here, it looks fine enough already. I mean, this doesn't look great, but this is a problem with the weight painting. But at this point, like, I don't want to fix it. It takes too much work. You gotta know when to let go of some little detail that really doesn't matter. It's gonna take way too long to do. It's not worth enough bang for your buck, you know? You can also select your controls from here, so you can move a ton of them at the same time. That also can save a lot of time, right? Just open the hand in like a second. Now I'm gonna turn the head a little bit away. I think this is fine like this. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Now that I'm paying attention, I see that the fingers are all fucked up here. I think I just moved them in the wrong direction. So this is a thing about working 3D, is that sometimes you're looking at something and it looks fine, and then you change the angle and you see that it wasn't fine at all. It just looks fine from one direction, right? So then you just have to go and fix it. Now for this animation, this is basically, at least for the beginning, this is kind of how I want to do, because I'm just gonna like raise my arms and like cover myself, right? But I don't want him to be still like this. I want to have some movements, even like I'm going to stay in this pose, right? So if I go here and transform and location, there's this option to override with Perlin noise, right? But if I look at this, for example, I don't know why, but this option doesn't exist. It makes no sense to me, right? It should be here. But there's still a way to do this, right? Now, what we can do is create another object that is gonna have this movement, and then parent these controls that I want to move to that object. So then the control is gonna follow the other object's movements, and it's gonna look a lot more realistic. So what we can do is we can add a shape here, whatever, an object, like a sphere, for example. Just drag it here into the sequencer, and this spawns an object only in the sequencer. It doesn't have to be outside in the workspace like all the time, right? Only when you run this object is gonna exist. Now what's kind of annoying is that this location is really far away from the origin of this world, so the sphere is all the way over there, and it's kind of annoying, but I mean, it is what it is, right? It went right over there in the center of the scene. It doesn't matter, we don't even really need to see it. So we can go here to transform and click here on location, override with double Perlin noise. And we can do this for all three of these axes. So now that sphere is gonna be moving around. And now what we do is we select this and we parent this control to that sphere. Now the thing that is really annoying is that to parent this, you have to click here, add constraints and parent, and you have to click on the thing that you want the parent to be. But the engine doesn't let you use the picker on the outliner or the sequencer. You have to use it in a viewport. So now I have to click this and walk all the way over there where the sphere is and click it there. I mean, it's annoying, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So now hopefully when I play this, you're gonna see some movement here. Now this is way too fast, so let's try to make this a little less crazy. So if you go to the sphere here in this location where the noise is acting, you can right click this. And here in Perlin noise channels, you have each axis, and each one of those you can change frequency, amplitude, offset and stuff. So you can change these values until you get a movement that you feel it's a little more realistic for the animation. Okay, so this is the current state of my arm moving. What I want to do now is make the torso and the other arm move. So I'm just going to try to apply the same movement to everything and see what the result is. Okay, I tried that and it looks fucking awful. The reason is they are moving together, so it kind of looks very robotic. So instead I'm going to just add 3 objects and do 3 different noises and 3 parents. And by the way, I just noticed that I set all my keyframes on frame 1, and really I should have set them on frame 0. So to fix this, you don't have to select like every single control like this. You can kind of just close this, and then all of the keyframes are condensed over here. So you just select this and drag here, and now they are on frame 0. Okay, so I've added the 3 objects. I did all the parenting. I tweaked the values of the movements, and this is the result I got right here. Okay, so let's take a little break on this control rig animation stuff and move on to a different section, which is create interactions with other objects. Alright, see you in the next part.